Now, live from Ernie's Cut Rate Liquor Store, shooting range, candle shop, bowling alley, massage parlor, it's the Dave&Doc Podcast.
Oh, shit!
Just busting it out.
Hello.
Happy night.
Happy night.
Look out.
Oh, no. Oh,
Back again.
no.
Back again.
Oh, episode
Fired up.
87 of the Dave&Doc Podcast. I'm Dave.
And I am Doc.
All things Dave&Doc related on our website, right underneath our mugshots at daveanddoc.com. That's Dave&Doc, DOC.com.
Watch out for the gray juice.
Oh.
Just kidding.
It's the most disgusting story you've ever told me, and we can't talk about it.
That's right.
Oh, I don't know that I want to.
Frightful. Never mind. No,
Yeah,
we're
you
good.
folks don't want to hear that
No, you
anyway.
do not. No.
Yikes.
Bad times.
Episode 87, of course, the number for Dwight Clark. We were just talking about him
catch.
earlier. Yeah.
Very sad. I mean, ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yeah.
That is some nasty
It was pretty cool.
stuff.
They had like Dwight Clark Day, and like he was at the stadium for one last time, and like they dedicated the whole game to him, and yeah, that was pretty nice. But yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
still
sad
one of
that,
the iconic catches in sports history.
yeah, thrown by the greatest quarterback to ever put on a cup.
It was not really
Not a period cup,
it
but
was-
a cup.
it was
like a cup,
oh
like
my
an actual
God.
cup. Yeah.
It was not that great of a throw, though.
Well, but again,
He threw it where he had to throw it, but it was a little wobbler.
well, it was, and again, but they practiced that play just like that, right? So,
I mean, he just reenacted what they'd been doing. So there you go.
listen, it doesn't matter what it looks like.
It's true.
Here's
It's all pink in the middle.
that dude. Well,
Sometimes.
unless it's gray. God, I'm gonna have nightmares.
I was gonna say
tonight.
you'll never be. The
That
same.
was the
It's
worst
okay.
story you
That's
have
okay.
ever
It's
told
okay.
me.
It's okay. It was good stuff.
Oh God, I thought I was telling you a funny story. Like
I championed it, which doesn't happen all the time. So I was actually kind of proud that we got there.
no, you destroyed my story. Was like, yeah.
So of course, kind of all health things related. Lots of flu going on right now. RSV, COVID still hanging around forever. But then there's also just some different viral stuff and things going around. But I thought we could do some medical jokes just because we haven't done that in a minute.
Sure.
So I thought we could hit a little bit with that, and then
Are you qualified to do this thing?
Vistaprint, man, Vistaprint.
Are you
It's
a
the best thing?
Are you a
Yes.
chiropractor or a doctor? Yeah, well, you can do them either.
Dum-dum-dum.
That's all it takes. You just have
That's
to whistle before you pop somebody in the same place that you
right.
pop everybody else.
That's right. So, why do your heart, liver, and lungs all fit in your body?
Why?
Because they are well organized.
Well, of course they are. Why does gray shit come out? No, sorry, go ahead.
Why are pediatricians always agitated?
I got a lot of answers for that.
Because they have little patience.
Yes. Some of them are just jackasses, too. Just saying.
I went to medical school with an incredibly ambitious guy. The guy was obsessed with collecting skulls. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd do anything to get ahead.
Well,
What did one tonsil say to the other tonsil?
what?
Did you hear the doctor's taking us out tonight?
Oh, no.
The plague, the flu, and the common cold walk into the room.
Yeah.
I asked, what is this, some kind of sick joke?
Oh, no. What the hell? I apologize, folks.
I tried to look impotence up on the internet, but nothing came up.
Oh, well, I was going to say, when you saw a picture of me,
Oh, about pulled the thing loose. That could have been real bad. We mess up the SMBs.
that's right. Yes.
Oh, man. What do you give a sick lemon? You should know this.
What do you give a sick lemon?
Sick lemon.
What's
Lemonade.
Well, of course you do.
A little joke when you're sick never hurt. Antibody.
These are terrible. I was excited about these too.
I've got this awful disease where I can't stop telling airport puns. The doctor says it's terminal.
All right, that's pretty fun.
Oh, man. That's not good.
No,
I think, no, that one's not.
no. Gray matter.
A very nervous patient was admitted to get a blood transfusion at the blood bank. The female nurse told her not to worry and be positive.
Hey, say it a while. But she wasn't because she was so negative.
That's right. Look at you. That actually is on this.
Is it really? Oh, shit.
We just got, no, we're okay. We're okay.
Wow.
For years, I was against organ transplants. Then I had a change of heart.
How many of these are there? This is ridiculous.
Conjunctivitis.com. That's a site for sore eyes.
No.
We'll leave it.
Oi. I've got one for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, it's not really a dad joke.
Oh, okay.
It's
It's
a
okay.
joke
It's
joke.
okay.
So,
How do you, never mind. No, all right. So for Thutton, real quick, this is a Thutton submission. This has nothing to do with healthcare,
okay,
but,
all right.
but I hate to leave this out because
sure, go ahead. Yeah.
how do you change a fox into an elephant?
Ladies and gentlemen, this joke is brought to you by Doc.
Thutton, brought to you by Thutton
Okay, brought to you by Thutton.
and Farm Bureau Insurance.
Okay, all right.
How do you change a fox into an elephant?
How is that?
You marry it.
So, so my wife was in a coma,
Brought to you by Awala.
and
Your wife was in a coma. This
she was in a coma.
okay.
And I was talking to the doctor, and the doctor, what can we do? And the doctor says, well, listen, there's this unconventional,
Treatment.
treatment that we might be able to do, right? And I said, okay, cool. What he said, you had to have oral sex with her, and she might like pop out of the coma. I said, oh, okay. I mean, if that's what has to be done. So I shut the door. I come back out and I'm like, Doc, it didn't work. And he goes, what do you mean it didn't work? I said, now she's choking. That's a Norm Macdonald. I can't take credit for that, but when Norm tells it, it's 20 minutes long. But
You just got right to the point.
I did.
There's no need to mess around with any foreplay. We just get right to the
Don't jack around with the rest
That's
of
right.
that. Just go right for
no,
the yeah.
no.
She's choking, Doc.
Should have broke her gag reflex. Just saying. Just saying.
There's a real difference when we do these shows during the day as opposed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding?
You know what I mean?
Oh man. Well, I mean, we're tired. I mean, this stuff been going on. They messed up our food order.
They did, yeah.
Stupid DoorDash.
Yeah, they did.
Boo. Upset.
So I want to talk about Gene Hackman a
Yes,
little bit.
yes, we got stuff to get into. I know.
95
Speaking of
year
health
old-
stuff,
yeah.
I mean, come on.
95-year-old Gene Hackman. His
Yes.
wife was like 65 or so. Something
Yes,
like that. She
yes.
was in her 60s.
68, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I think she was 60.
And I hadn't seen him in a long time, but then I saw a couple of pictures of him since this has happened, and he looked rough. And I didn't realize like he had a pacemaker.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no,
so,
he was.
like, yeah, he was.
He
in
was
bad
also
shape.
95.
Oh, again, yeah, he was 95.
And I'll
so-
just tell you, I will not be seeing 95. My people do not live that long. I hope. I mean, if I make it, thank you. That's great. I'm sure there's a lot of fun things to see. No, we just don't.
No,
We're
me
like
either.
early 80s, and then that's it.
the men on my side of the family is in our 70s.
Yeah.
And we're done.
Yeah.
So, I'm
Well,
only
and, I mean, my parents died in their 70s, both
Yeah.
of them. But traditionally,
yeah, and I'm 71 now.
so you,
I just look really good for my age.
That's right. You're well preserved.
I am. Yes.
It's that Botox.
Yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, so it was interesting because like a groundskeeper or someone, I don't know who, looked in the window and saw Gene Hackman and his wife laying beside of each other. And upon investigation by the authorities, they found like a bottle of pills that was like strewn.
And I thought they were in separate places of the house.
No, they were like beside of each other apparently.
Oh, I thought they said they were in different areas of the house.
No, and then a dog was also dead.
Yes, I did. Yes.
It was in a kennel, so I
Yes.
mean, like probably just didn't have access to water and died. But his pacemaker had stopped checking in. I mean, weeks before, which is like, okay, if the pacemaker, again, I don't know how this stuff works, but if you have a pacemaker that's actually checking in with a hospital and it hasn't checked in some time, shouldn't someone be coming out to check on that? I mean, isn't that the point of it checking in?
So, it has a battery, and the battery has, typically, 7 to 8 years, sometimes longer of life. It's not necessarily being continuously monitored. Does that make sense?
I guess. But
So that's a tricky deal because I don't know that necessarily alarms in that scenario versus it potentially does notify someone if there is a life-threatening rhythm going on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
what's a life-threatening rhythm? The lack of one.
Asystole.
Yes.
Asystole, PEA, yeah. It would depend. It probably depends on what it is.
Yeah.
You would think though that somewhere there was a notification that it wasn't being.
Yeah.
Now, what happens with that? Sometimes that depends because that may be the feed might have been going to California. If you know what I'm saying. So, and you just don't know how many units they're monitoring. You could go lots of directions. Now here's the thing. Remember, with a pacemaker, pacemakers help control your rhythm.
Yeah.
They don't actually knock you out necessarily of an abnormal rhythm that may not be compatible with life. An intracardiac defibrillator does do that, but that is actually different than a pacemaker. Now, the defibrillator is pacemaker-like, but it also can shock you out of the bad rhythm.
Yeah, but we're talking about it's a pacemaker, but it hadn't checked in.
Right.
Which
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So,
it's like,
again, that's one of those.
And if it gives you rhythm, do you think it would help me learn to dance?
So, rhythm is a dancer. It's a song. No, see, squirrel. It probably gets back to, because like I said, they get a report and they can interrogate it, but then you're into, okay, with that number of pacemakers, because a lot of people have pacemakers, what volume of that is being continuously monitored where somebody's like, look.
But it's fucking Gene Hackman.
Yeah, but now you bring up a really good point. Is Gene Hackman any more important than my 85-year-old patient with diabetes and high blood pressure who was a very humble person, served in the church for many, many years, was also a teacher who now, has significant atrial rhythm problems, and basically because of fatigue and short of breath was kind of forced to become pacemaker dependent. They did an ablation to part of his connection point, and so now he has to have a pacemaker. His heart won't beat right. Is he any more important than Gene Hackman?
To me, no. But to Hollywood doctors, yeah.
No.
I mean, Gene Hackman's more.
But Gene Hackman's living out there in New Mexico or wherever. You see what I'm saying? So he wasn't seeing a Hollywood doctor.
I know, but it's just it's
no.
It's here's what I don't understand, and we'll get into what their thinking that happened there.
Yep.
Here's what I don't understand.
Okay.
You can drive through an intersection and get a speeding ticket. Okay.
True.
when you go to Disney World or you go to an amusement park, right?
Yes.
Like there's facial recognition software. There's
Yes.
like they know how many people are in the park and all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There's all this technology,
Yes.
but nobody's getting a buzz when somebody's fucking pacemaker stops working, stops checking in. Like, I mean, you can't tell me there's that many people with pacemakers that it's something that like you couldn't get a report every morning to say, oh, 37 pacemakers didn't check in. Hey, Jill or Joe, why don't you call these people? Like, you can't tell me that. Like,
Right. There, that'll be interesting, kind of how that plays out.
And again,
If they even really do anything with it. I mean,
and maybe he wasn't that important to them because he hadn't acted since 2004. He retired from acting, years ago.
right. But no, I think the bigger problem is, what's the level of monitoring? And it is being monitored. But again, I don't know that they're necessarily always calling somebody if it goes amiss. You know
Maybe
what I
he
mean?
was a Republican. That's why they weren't looking.
My God.
Hollywood's not going to give a shit,
Oh, my goodness.
right?
Well, again, I don't think he was seeing a Hollywood doctor, right? Because he's out there in New Mexico.
I know, but like the president of Hollywood, whoever that is, I don't know who that is.
President of Hollywood.
Will Smith,
Ooh.
whoever it is.
Boy,
he's
wasn't
like,
that some weirdness.
He's like, yeah, well, he's a Republican. We're not worried about his. Again, here's the thing. Would it have saved him? No.
No.
He was 95 and his heart stopped. Okay. So one of the coroners or somebody doing an autopsy, somebody with some knowledge, straight from Vistaprint, said that what they thought happened, what it looks like happened, was the craziest thing in the world. So it looked like Gene Hackman had a heart attack. And as he was having a heart attack, said wife ran to get some meds, I'm assuming some nitroglycerin or something. On her way back to him, slipped and fell, hit her head, and basically went to sleep and never woke up because of a brain
Blunt force trauma.
Yeah, blunt force trauma and a brain bleed. Mm-hmm. And the dog died because it was in a kennel and couldn't get water
Because it couldn't get out. Because the other two dogs were still alive because they were kind of
they were drinking
roaming.
Yeah, they were drinking toilet water.
Which hey,
whatever.
gotta do what you gotta do.
I do it every day.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
It doesn't affect me at all.
Right? No. You're not growing your horns out of your head.
Matter. But that's what they think happened, which is why they were both deceased.
Interesting.
Apparently she slipped and fell. And I don't know if that's the case. When I first heard about there's pills everywhere and they're both dead, I'm like, is this just a suicide from both of them? They just took pills, or whatever. But I also don't know what kind of pills. They also thought it might be carbon monoxide poisoning, but the fire department checked and they're like, nah, there's none of that.
Right. That got ruled out.
And they had been dead for a while because they were getting like puffy and gross.
Yeah. They had some changes.
Gray shit was coming out of them. Sorry. I can't let that go. I will never forget that ever.
It'll be okay. You're okay. So it is interesting, and they haven't identified what the pills were. Correct?
To my knowledge, no.
Because that would be interesting to know. Because that would kind of point you in the right direction. Because, like, say it was nitroglycerin, yes, that's what you're going to get. Or if it was aspirin, you know what I'm saying. But but if it's like, Xanax, no, that you weren't going to get the Xanax because he was having a heart attack.
Wait, that doesn't help your heart? Shit.
Well, it'll help you.
I got to stop taking it.
But that would be interesting to know what those are. And I hadn't really followed up on that this week just because of the way the week went. But I would be interested to know exactly what that was, because that would give you, like I said, if it's nitro, then she totally was rushing.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
And just terrible luck. That's terrible.
Yeah. I have a funny Xanax story.
But because what I thought was, and again, I haven't looked at this, I thought maybe something happened to him. And then she was like, I don't want to live without him.
That's what I thought too.
And then she did something. I was like, I don't think at this point, he would have done anything. But you just never know. Stuff does happen. People do, murder suicide things for crazier, reasons. Anyway,
I could see Will Smith being in a cult that did something like that. Like, he's crazy.
yeah,
He's crazy enough. Him and his wife.
He's what we call
crazy.
a little unstable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what's your Xanax story?
You want to hear this?
Oh yeah. I mean, can we talk about this?
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right, good. Okay.
You're my doctor, but this happened years and years ago. I've never been a good sleeper. You know this, right? And thankfully we found a medicine that's helped me now. Thank you.
No job too great or too small.
No, it's amazing. Like, I go to sleep for multiple hours at a time.
It's
I
fantastic.
dream.
Yep.
Like, and that just never happened. Like you know
right,
what I mean?
you were never getting any.
No.
I mean, you were dreaming because you still have to, but you weren't.
Yeah.
I got it.
But now it's like I can fall asleep at and again, it still takes me a while to fall asleep.
I get that's okay.
But like, let's say 11:30, 11:45, and I don't wake up till like 5 sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, wow. And people are like, well, that's not that many hours of sleep. You don't understand.
Right. When you ain't been sleeping, that's a ton.
And so I've never been a good sleeper. And I think a lot of it was because, when you do morning radio,
Sure.
you're up at 4 a.m. And then like your sleep schedule gets off because everybody else wants to do things after work. And everyone else's 6 o'clock is kind of like your 10 o'clock. Like, it's time to go to bed. So you end up, and I was young and whatever. So
Running hard.
So I was talking about this in a group of friends, and one friend said, well, hey, I have sleeping issues, and my doctor prescribed me Xanax. I said, what the hell is Xanax? And he says, well, he's like, it helps you sleep. And I said, oh. I said, maybe I should talk to my doctor. And what he goes, you should. He's like, but hey, I'll give you some if you want to try them. I'm like, okay. Listen, I'm not a drug taker. You know this. You know me. I'm just not. And so he gives me pills, right, to take. And the pills are cut into sections of 4, right? You know what I mean? Like, the pills they're like, am I making sense? Like, it's like a little bar or something, right?
They're like scored.
Yeah, and they're scored. Thank you. That's the technical term. That's why you make the big.
That's why I make the That's why I got my
Vistaprint.
That's why I got my Vistaprint.
Vistaprint gave you that degree for
That's
free.
right. That's exactly right.
And so he gave me these. I don't know anything about Xanax.
Did you take a whole one?
I don't know anything about Xanax.
You took a whole one.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So I pop one.
Oh my God. Okay, go ahead.
And I took it like
You took the whole
I
thing.
took it like on my way.
And it was a tablet with scored lines in it.
And I took the whole thing.
Yeah, I think you took a totem.
Is that what
That's
is?
like the 2 milligram.
Yeah,
dose. And that it's called a. I think
And I
that's
took
what
it.
it's like. That's like the street name of it.
I was at a gas station, right? And I stopped and got like a Mountain Dew or something, right?
He
And
didn't tell you to make sure your dumb ass was at home.
No.
Oh my God!
But again, I mean, hell, I should have known better. So like,
he did say they were to help you sleep. Oh, geez.
and again,
okay,
I wasn't far from home.
Okay,
right? I was
no. I'm not. This is not.
No. I was like 10 minutes.
The
And I'm like,
statute of limitations has passed. Therefore,
No. What I mean is, like, I took it thinking that it might take effect, but I'm like, this will be great because I'm going home.
oh,
I'm
it's
gonna get
pretty
some
quick.
sleep.
Oh,
So
it's
I took
quick.
it.
Yeah.
10 minutes to get home. As I'm walking in the door,
Oh yeah.
like it feels like I'm in slow motion. I'm
Yeah.
like, what? Blah, 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 blah. I slept for 24 hours. 20.
With no memory of anything.
No.
Yep. You took a 2 milligram.
And I'm
It's
like,
a wonder you
what?
didn't die.
And so
That's a lot.
The next time I talked to him,
Oh my God!
I said, dude, how do you take these and function?
And he said, I score them.
He's like, well, it's not a big deal. He's like, and they last forever because he's like, I only take them when I need them. And, and he's like, and when you break them up, I'm like, whoa. What do you mean break them up? And he goes, well, yeah. He's like, how many did you take? And I said, I took the whole thing. And he goes, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, I'm not a drug addict.
You took a 2 milligram you were naive to that medicine.
No idea.
Man, you are one lucky dude.
I was.
You are one lucky dude.
Oh, I slept so great.
And it's, like I said, onset's pretty fast. I'm surprised, man.
I'm saying, I walked in the door and it had been like 15 minutes at that point. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'll go to sleep.
You took, I guarantee you that was a 2 milligram. And if it was fourths, then
It was 4s. Yeah.
Yeah, 0.5 per each quarter, which is your standard dose, like a 0.5. And that's why they don't do it like that anymore. Now they have a 0.25, 0.5, 1, 2, and nobody does the 2. The max share you're supposed to have in a day is 4 milligrams in a 24 hours.
Well,
So
I had 2 in 24
You
hours.
had 2 in one sitting. So, yeah, that'll knock you.
Man,
that'll
knock my ass out.
Yeah, I was going to say, that knocked you. Yeah, no doubt.
Knocked my ass out. Whew. This is my Xanax story. This is why I'm not a druggie. All right. I mean, this is why I can't do it because like it stuff knocks me out.
No. I mean, yeah. No,
I mean, I appreciate the heroin that you prescribe.
Of course. It's for medicinal purposes.
Of course it is.
Heroin.
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 What was the SNL skit? Heroin daytime or something like that. For like it was like Tina Fey did it. It was hilarious.
That.
It was hilarious.
Oh my god!
It's like
heroin daytime.
Yeah, or meth daytime. I forget what it was, but it was ridiculous.
Hilarious. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I've been excited to play something for you.
Okay.
I can't tell you how excited I am.
This is kind of scary.
It's a good story.
We didn't even talk about this. This is
no.
All right.
And this and the thing I'm gonna play you here and show you is a video, but it's a commercial.
Okay.
But the story behind the commercial is way cooler than the commercial. But I want to see if you can. I'm gonna play it. Let's just do that. How about that?
Am I trying to guess?
No. You don't have to guess.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just.
I gotta really focus.
It's a commercial for Hoover vacuum cleaner.
Oh no. Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
It is. But I have to play this for you.
Oh
and you fans and folks listening, the almost 68,000 subscribers we have now. This will probably get flagged on YouTube or whatever, but I don't fucking care. Fuck them. It's
Hoover.
It is. Here it is. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready for this? Here we go.
This is bad. You may have killed it.
Power come back from Hoover. It's a beautiful mover. The new compact does more than beat. It also cleans, it also sweeps, and brushes right to the edge. Right to the edge. Changing a bag as easy as ABC. The new high power compact from Hoover. It's a beautiful mover.
That's straight from the 80s. They're trying to
It
trying to rip off Robert Palmer.
Now, who did that commercial? It is a famous artist who sang that commercial.
Sammy Hagar.
No, not Sammy.
Hoover.
There's a whole story behind
I
that.
wasn't focused enough to be listening to the voice.
You want to hear it again?
Yes.
All right. Hang on.
Just real quick.
No. Oops.
Oops. What was that?
Hey, I'm just moving screen.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was like,
you folks didn't
like, I
see
just-
that at home.
oh, they didn't? Oh,
No.
Power come back from Hoover. It's a beautiful mover. The new compact does more than beat. It also cleans, it also sweeps, and brushes right to the edge. Right to the edge. Changing a bag as easy as ABC. The new high power compact from Hoover. It's a beautiful mover.
Changing the bags are as easy as ABC.
it's a beautiful mover.
It's a beautiful mover. So, back in February of 1980,
Oh, wow.
something major happened in the world of music,
Oh, wow.
which
I was
correlated with this
not many months old.
in 1980.
Yeah.
You're such a young guy.
Right?
I was 25. No, I was.
Ties in with your 71.
It was. Yeah, I was 4.
Botox.
I was 4.
Botox.
So in 1980, February of 1980, Bon Scott.
That's what I was going to guess. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah. So
Is that Bon Scott?
No, it's not.
Dang it.
But Bon Scott died.
Oh, my God. Is that
Yes. But the story behind
way
that,
before he killed his voice and the cigarettes and the drinking?
So here's what happened.
That's Brian
Brian Johnson.
Johnson.
So
That's Brian Johnson.
so Bon Scott died in February of 1980.
Oh my gosh.
And one of the singers that Bon Scott really liked was Brian Johnson. He was in a band called the Geordies. Spelt G whatever, but it's pronounced
I got
Geordies. which were actually pretty good, right? I mean, they were actually pretty good. And he's like, I really like this guy. This guy can really sing. And when he died at the funeral, Bon Scott's dad told either Angus or Malcolm, I can't remember. I think it was Malcolm.
Angus.
I think he said, "Hey, listen, you guys should go on with the band. Like, you shouldn't kill it. The band is just getting going. I mean, Highway to Hell hit. They were in the studio working on another album.
Oh,
when it happened.
Wow.
And he died from the doctor said Bon Scott died from misadventure. That was the actual term that he used, misadventure. He aspirated on his own vomit. I mean, he got drunk in the back.
Well,
of the car.
because he was probably drinking, taking pills.
Yeah.
And
so
if you're on your back, you're going to have a bad attack.
So AC/DC held auditions for the band.
Yeah.
And I there was some other people too, but I don't know those people.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was curious.
So they reached out to Brian Johnson's team,
like
or his
representatives,
and they said, "Hey, would he be interested in auditioning for AC/DC?" And so he didn't really know if he wanted to do that or not. He was in a band that was I mean, known enough.
They had built up their reputation and they were being successful.
Yeah, and he was like, I mean, I don't know. And the day they wanted him to audition, he had already committed to doing a Hoover vacuum cleaner commercial.
Oh my goodness.
And he said, so he really was like, man, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go. Like, I can't screw up this Hoover thing because they're paying me some good cash. And so he does the Hoover vacuum cleaner commercial. He leaves. He's standing on the street, and across the street is where he would go audition for AC/DC. And he said he came so close to saying, I'm not doing that. Screw it. I'm going to blow it off. Then he thought, you know what? I'll go over there. And the rest is history. And the album that came out was Back in Black, which is right behind me, as a matter of fact. And
wow.
Yeah. How about that?
It's just one
Isn't that amazing?
It's that classic. It's just a classic story of just happened to be right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And also that little voice in the head said, I need to go do that because if I don't, I'll always regret it.
Yeah.
And there he went.
Do you think they could have changed the lyrics though to,
Whole Lot of Rosie?
No, like, like Shook Me All Night Long, like it was like a fast machine. She kept her carpets clean, maybe. She had the best vacuum cleaner.
Best damn Hoover that I've ever seen.
But how about that, though? He did a Hoover vacuum cleaner commercial, then went and auditioned for AC/DC, and then never had to really work again.
Yeah. Wow.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Brian Johnson.
Yeah.
On the Hoover.
Yeah. He did a good job at the Hoover thing.
Oh, yeah. Great. No, I mean, like I said, and
it's a beautiful mover.
It is.
That's what I heard. It's a beautiful mover.
It's crazy how after screaming for 45 years, what his voice sounds like.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were smoking and all the things.
Was a fast machine.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah. I mean, Steven Tyler broke his voice box, and they are done.
I can't
Done. Aerosmith, they're never going to be able to tour again unless they tour without him, which at this point they're not going to do.
Oh, you can't do that.
They're not going to do it.
I mean,
so that's it. I mean, that's crazy.
Journey fucked up and did that too. And that Journey got lucky to find a young kid that could sing somewhat like Steve Perry, but there's no replacing Steve Perry.
Right, because his hip was messed up.
Yeah. And there's no replacing Bon Scott. I mean, Highway to Hell is one of the greatest rock songs ever, but Brian Johnson did a good job.
Yeah.
There's not many bands that have replaced lead singers that have done well, right? I mean, like
Van Halen.
AC/DC, Van Halen, and again.
Except when they had the guy from Extreme.
Yeah, Gary Sharon was...
that wasn't it.
They could actually do the Sammy songs then because Gary could sing in that register.
No, and I think that's why they did it because it's just his reach was such you could still do.
Because Roth really couldn't sing.
Correct.
He was a great front man.
Right.
And again, I hate these conversations because everybody always thinks that I hate David Lee Roth, and
that's
I don't.
Not what you said.
Love Van Halen. I love Van Halen
because I wish they all could be California. Have you ever seen that music video?
Of course I have.
Oh my!
Many times.
Oh my!
He's right. I wish they all could be. And they all lived here in my house, just prancing around, just like they did in that video.
You'd end up with VD.
Well, VD's nothing to clap about.
That's right.
but yeah. But yeah, I thought you'd enjoy that though.
I can't believe that that's who that is. That's crazy. And it's fun. And it's crazy how with the, how less raw that sounded than when he actually wails. That's amazing.
It's almost like he changed his tone a little bit with AC/DC.
He did.
I mean from the very beginning. Not even now, but
well, now his voice box is worn out. But even
but
when he
with
took
Back
up,
in Black, which was their first album,
right? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, which was I think still their most successful album of all time. Which is
Razor's Edge, I think, is number 2. That's because that's Thunderstruck and
Money Talks.
Yeah, Money Talks. Shoot, what else is on there? Shoot to Thrill. I think Shoot.
No. Shoot to Thrill is on Back in Black.
Dang, I don't know what else is on Razor's Edge.
Let's see. Money Talks. Thunderstruck.
Mistress for Christmas.
That
is on that one, isn't it?
It is.
Easy go. Oh my goodness! There you go.
Thunderstruck.
Yep.
Yeah, that song was huge. But Back in Black had Back in Black.
Yep.
Shook Me All Night Long.
Shoot Thrill.
Yeah. That album was.
Who Made Who is on Razor's Edge, I believe.
No. Who Made Who is an actual album.
Oh,
that album was the.
Is that like my iPhone 8s?
No, yes, that was the soundtrack for Mad Max.
Was it?
I think Who Made Who was the soundtrack for Mad Max.
Really?
Yeah.
No kid.
I know my music stuff, man.
Huh. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah. Like a video game, she plays me.
Oh yeah.
I love that album too. Who Made Who was great. Yeah.
Soundtrack for the Stephen King film Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive. I always get that messed up with
Mad Max.
Yeah. Yeah, that was that.
Hey, Tina Turner.
That was that fucking movie about semi trucks that came alive or whatever.
Yeah, it's Stephen King, so it's kind of going to be messed up. It'll make you have some bad dreams.
If there's a great book you should listen to from Stephen King, though,
yes,
it might be his best ever.
You Shook Me All Night Long is from Who Made Who.
Oh, it is. That's right. Yeah,
because I wanted to see what else. I want to see what other song. Yeah, here we go. Look at that. Hell's Bells is from Who Made Who.
Yeah, Who Made Who was huge.
For those about to rock.
Great song. Yeah,
that's a good one.
I don't think that came from that album originally, though. I think it was on that album, but I don't.
It is on that album. From For Those About to Rock, We Salute You. So they put it on there, but it was from
the actual album was called for.
That's what they but they put it on there.
Yeah.
How about that? Mistress for Christmas. Oh my gosh!
I saw him in concert that year.
Did you really?
For the Razor's Edge, yeah.
Fire Your Guns.
Yeah.
That's Fire Your Guns. Oh
my God.
Yeah. That wasn't probably it, was it? Oh my goodness. You didn't like that? That wasn't it.
There's some songs that I just don't like. My brother Jerry's a huge AC/DC fan. One of his favorite songs is a Whole Lot of Rosie, which is just hilarious.
Got You by the Balls.
Got you by the balls.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Oh shoot. That was yep. Got You by the Balls. That's on side 2 if you had a tape.
There you go. Yeah, side 2. B-side.
The B-side.
Yeah.
Thunderstruck on A side was Thunderstruck, Fire Guns, Money Talks, Razor's Edge, Mistress for Christmas, and Rock Your Heart Out. And the B-side was Are You Ready? Got You by the Balls, Shot of Love, Let's Make It, Goodbye and Good Riddance to Bad Luck, and If You Dare. Total length was 46 minutes and 29 seconds.
The self-titled Whitesnake album in 87 that had Here I Go Again, on the B-side, one of the best songs on there was Straight for the Heart, was on the B-side, just so you know.
Look at that.
Look
at you just dropping some
go listen
knowledge
to that.
bombs.
It's like Def Leppard, like one of the great songs on Pyromania, which is to me their best record. There's a song called Stage Fright.
Mm-hmm.
Photographs like cut 3, I think, on that album, but cut 2 is Stage Fright, and I love that song, Stage Fright. But that whole album's pretty good. Like Billy's Got a Gun, Die Hard the Hunter, Foolin', Photograph, of course, when Rock Till You Drop. Billy's Got a Gun.
You said that twice because it's so nice.
Did I say it twice? Mm-hmm. That's the last song in the album. Because at the end of it, it goes, and then if you listen to it at the very end,
does it go, Dave Man, Dave Man?
Johnny is the devil. Johnny is the devil. And then it flips. If you listen to it, it goes right back to the beginning of the A side, right? If you have one of those cassette players.
Ooh, look at that fanciness.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen,
you youngins, you don't even know what we're talking about.
The boys from Sheffield that started in a spoon factory, my friends, Rick Allen, Rick Savage, Phil Collin,
Jimmy McSween,
Joe Elliott, Def Leppard, Vivian Campbell too. He's there too.
There you go.
Because Steve Clark's not there anymore. Because he's dead, just like Bon Scott.
He's not there
for the same reason Bon Scott died.
Misadventure.
Did
you ever get any misadventure?
I've had some misadventures.
Have you now?
Well, I was telling you about one, and I thought, and then you one-up me with the story you told that we can't talk about, for God's sake. Oh, my God. I'm going to have nightmares about that shit. Hey, Doc, let me tell you a funny story. You're like, oh, well, let me tell you one. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's it. You just never know what could happen.
Watch your cups, folks. That's all I got to tell you.
And your shoes.
Make sure they don't. Anyway,
we're moving on.
So speaking of misadventures,
yes.
Here's what I've learned in my life. I've learned a few things, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Number one, don't argue with your wife. You're going to lose, right? Because she's in charge, right? That's one thing.
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes it's kind of fun.
It is, but in the end, it's her work.
Oh, it never pays off. I mean,
especially if you have kids, right?
I mean, if you go, yeah, oh man.
And the more kids you have, you just drop. You and I are on the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Because we have the same amount of kids.
Yeah.
And
So,
and so we're at the bottom of the list, right?
Yeah.
It's wife and or kids in a mix, and then we're at the bottom, right? Mm-hmm. So don't argue with your wife. Number two, go to work. Don't be lazy and go to work, right? I've learned that, right? You go to work. Hey, we do. You and I both do. We work many, 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 many hours.
We do. Gotta make that money.
One of us has to be very intelligent for our job. And that's you, not me.
And then then one of us has Vistaprint.
Right. I'm not even good enough to have Vistaprint.
Okay, you don't really need
I'm an idiot. So I've learned some things, right? I've learned you should probably drink a lot of water or stay hydrated.
Yes,
I drink
hydration.
A lot of Gatorade.
You need an Owala.
And
that's what you need.
This episode
brought to you by Owala.
And
they have a Dark Vader one.
Oh my God! It's like I want to apologize to all humankind for that. You folks don't know that, but that was behind the scenes. But my wife said, "Oh, they have a Dark Vader one."
I thought Dave was gonna come unglued. I was like,
never speak about Star Wars ever.
That was the best. She said Darth Vader.
Get Darth Vader's name out of your mouth.
I said, oh my God.
I was turning into Will Smith.
Oh, shoo.
So I've learned some stuff, right? Here's another thing that I've learned. And I didn't need to learn this because I feel like this would have been a thing.
You wanted to learn this.
Well, I didn't want to learn this.
Oh, you did?
No. But it's like I didn't have to learn it, but now I know, right?
Yes.
Is you don't eat bats. You just don't do it. There's a bat laying there, minding its own business.
We're both coughing. I don't know what the hell
it's dead. It's the gray matter that's in here.
Right? Right?
And you can't eat bats because now in the Congo, there's a disease that if contracted, some people are dying within 48 hours.
Yeah, and they don't really know what it is. Interestingly, half these people are testing positive for malaria, but it's not the malaria.
It's not the malaria that's killing them.
No. And they've been Ebola negative. This is really crazy. This gets back. I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff that exists in the world and in far reaches of the earth, and we don't have it identified, and it's scary. Or if you really want to get paranoid, there's some stuff sitting down there in Atlanta in the level 5 containment of the CDC, and they don't talk about what it is.
Because there's no cure, and it just kills people.
Right. And so then you're wondering, why are we keeping that?
And then you got jackasses in China that are like, let's make another disease. Let's see how bad it is. Right.
Now, Dave.
Well, I mean, they did. I mean, Trump said they did it. And then everybody said, no, you're stupid. And then like they just admitted that they did it. It's like, hang on. Was Trump still stupid for saying it? Or are you stupid for not believing it? But they did. Here's what they did. They got in a little lab in Wuhan. And they said, okay, we put 3 particles of this, 1 fortune cookie, whatever, little sweet and sour chicken. And then poof, COVID. Now,
I can't.
What, is that not accurate?
It's it's a little bit off.
Did they have sex with a pangolin?
Oh,
That's
stop.
all I want to know.
Stop.
Did someone have sex with a pangolin? I've tried. They're very raunchy.
They're just not feeling it, right?
No, they're very raunchy.
Yeah, you got to get them.
And they're a little temperamental.
You got to get them a little inebriated first.
You do, yeah. You have to.
Couple Xanax.
Yeah, you give them a whole
couple
bar of
Percocet
Xanax.
and 3 beers, and the panties drop. That's it, right? That's
the pangolin panties. What the hell?
This is going really wrong. We may never.
That's
be
awful
back
furry. What's all that gray shit?
Aren't pangolin gray? What color are they?
Oh, God. I'm going to throw up now. If you folks could only hear the conversations we have when we're not talking on.
Oh man!
Anyway,
all kinds of wrong.
So 2 kids ate a bat in the Congo.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mention where this was.
Right.
It's the Congo.
Yes. No, you did say Congo.
Did
you
I?
did.
Okay.
You said that. Yes. Yes.
So in the Congo, this wasn't in the lab in China where they invented.
No,
COVID.
this is like in nature.
Yeah,
they are out in nature.
A bat died, and they said, "Hey, you know what?
We're hungry.
Fun? Let's eat a bat." And then they died 48 hours later, and other people are dying too. So what they don't know is if, in fact, this disease in the Congo is spreading to other people who didn't eat the bat,
right?
Or if they're dying from something else because, like,
or did they eat bat?
Is it? Yeah. Or I mean, because like there's in the Congo, there's a ton of different diseases, so it's probably really hard.
There's some, like I said, there's some bad stuff in the far reaches of the earth. And
how does something? And again, you're the smart one in the room. How do diseases come about naturally? Not like the lab in Wuhan where they created it chemically to try to kill everybody. So, aside from that, like naturally, like I understand there's diseases that spread amongst animals, right? And we shouldn't be eating said animals like bats. Don't fucking eat bats.
Well, and that's it. I mean,
is it like a mutation of a normal, like something that we've seen before, and it's just like this horrible mutation?
So
is it the lab in Wuhan? Is that what it is? It's the pangolin in the lab in Wuhan. Somebody.
So this is an interesting question.
Yeah.
So where did it originate? And that's always an interesting thing because it's like, did it, like, for example, we'll take HIV.
Yeah.
So the thought is,
The 3 blood types.
in the jungles of Africa. That's awful. You should be ashamed. Damn. That it was simian introduced, and so there was something within the primates that caused them to get sick, and viruses have to have a host.
Yeah.
So it's like something changed inside of the animal and it became sick with this virus. The virus started to grow. So, it may have picked something up from something it ate or whatever else, but it was able to start growing inside of the host.
Yeah.
Whereas bacteria can live other places because they replicate themselves on their own.
Yeah.
And so, that could be waterborne from contamination from any number of things. It can be foodborne, food that's wasted, the sugars break down, the food rots, and here's this, bacteria that can live in that environment.
Yeah.
And then so then what happens is what is it? Where is it at? Like, for example, like I said, HIV, it's in the primate, and the thought is, okay, something mutated, the monkey or whatever, bites a human or scratches a human, and it's transferred to them. Then it becomes where it can replicate inside the human, salivary things, sexual intercourse, whatever it is, and that's how the fluid exchange, and that's how it's spread from one person to the other.
Yeah, but like, how does it? So like, how does?
Well, that's one of life's great. I mean, you could.
Like,
So if you're a believer, then for whatever reason, these things were.
I'm just kidding.
These things were created,
to kill pangolins. Because I mean, for somebody like me, right, who's not very smart, and I look at these diseases that happen, and these illnesses, it's like, how did this happen? Like, how did something mutate to that? I mean, even cancer, right? Yeah. Cancer's not a virus, but you know what I mean? Like, how does something get to that level? Like, even if it started in, with if it was simian in nature or whatever.
So from the scientific, again, if you look at it from the Christian point of view, it's like, well, for whatever reason, the Lord made this, and this is what is here. I mean, from a pure science perspective, sorry, I'm texting. Basically, what the thought is there was this genetic material, genetic elements within us that somehow mutated, kind of what you were saying, and then it was like it was kind of able to go from cell to cell, but actually makes us feel sick.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the general thought about how the viruses were created. Something mutated within these genetic components.
Wouldn't our naturally at this point, wouldn't we have antibodies for just about everything?
No, because they evolve. Ooh, I said the dirty word.
You did.
I said evolve.
You did.
Now, what I'm talking about, and this is real. This is not. We have studied viruses.
Yeah.
Viruses change over time. It's still the same virus, but it's different in its genetic components.
Okay.
That is evolution. Some people don't believe in evolution. I'm not talking about
No, I get what you're saying.
Us coming from Homo habilis or something like that. That's not what I'm talking about.
Well, evolution has a lot of different meanings.
So I don't want people having a misconception about that.
It's like somebody being a Raiders fan and then seeing the light one day. They evolved from being.
I mean, you kind of lighten that. I appreciate you lightening that up.
Yeah.
Yes, but
they evolved from being a psychopath to a normal person.
So what happens is, these things change. Much like, for example, COVID.
Yeah.
So we keep having these different variants of COVID, and it is evolving and changing.
Is that a mutation or evolution?
It's kind of so. Mutate is changing form, making its process different. That is, evolution is things changing over time. So it is a mutation.
So different ingredients in the lab and
leading to an
Inject the pangolin, Jim.
Oh my God!
Send him loose.
I don't. That didn't really fit when you said Jim.
You're right. You're right.
Stop. Don't do it.
I didn't say it.
We're growing this sucker. Stop. Grassroots. Quit. But that's the thought. So genetic elements, something changed. It can shift from cell to cell.
Yeah.
Moving within the body, make us sick. It does change over time. So you do have immunity, but then if it changes, that's what causes to potentially
the code changes.
In essence,
yeah.
Yes.
So the code, I mean, I got to speak computer language.
No, it is.
That's the only thing I understand.
Right. It's not binary.
Yeah. So it's, look at you. Ooh, like that. Well,
MS-DOS. It's not MS-DOS.
It's probably the OS on your phone.
That's what I was going to say. Damn it, you got me. You beat me to it.
He has to type
My 8 OS.
C:/ text messages, enter
Yes.
text. My God. But I mean, computer viruses are very similar too, right? Like it's like the when we say like immunity, the antibodies of a computer are like the virus definitions. Is what we call it.
Right, I get you. Right.
So if you have a virus scan software, and there's a bunch of them out there, don't buy Norton. It's a piece of shit. There's a lot of virus scan softwares out there. And what they do is they update their definitions daily because the shit changes all the time.
Right.
And it can be something very similar to what they've seen before, but the code works in a different way, or it can lay dormant, or it's reliant upon another piece of code that can be run at a different time. So both of those pieces of code may not be detected if they're done separately, and then they come together, and then they do some malicious stuff, like download pangolin porn on your computer, which I mean I just downloaded it anyway.
Right. We're not hiding anything. No secrets.
No, I have a calendar, for pangolins. July,
Miss March.
It's a little fuzzy. But yeah, no, I get that. So like so once it's in the body, like basically the code can change. It can be the same kind of virus or same kind of gremlin, but the body's like, I don't really know how to fight this because this is a little different.
Right. Because that's correct.
Yeah,
that's right. And the same thing with bacteria. Bacteria can mutate, and the thing you have to be careful with that, and this is where we get into antibiotic resistance, is inappropriate prescribing of antibiotics because your body's taking something that's actually got a virus.
Yeah.
Antibiotic is in there, and so there might be a little bit of bacteria, and it's like, oh, you're not going to kill me off because you didn't really need me for this because it's actually a virus.
Yeah.
Gets used to it, and then that antibiotic won't work as well if you get sick with something else. Same thing if the bacteria changes, which is why it's always important to take all of your antibiotics. That's why we say, antibiotics start working as soon as you take them, but it typically takes 48 to 72 hours before you actually see a benefit, because at that point you've killed off enough bacteria to feel better. You need the 7 to 10 to 14 to whatever the treatment course typically is, because that's how long it takes to get the inhibitory concentration high enough to kill off all of the bacteria.
Believe me, when I have a diverticulitis flare-up, I'm taking all of mine.
Right, so if you don't do that, even though you feel better, there may still be some residual bacteria there, and guess what? It says, oh, you're not going to get me again. Even though you don't feel sick right now, I'm going to form this shield to block this thing the next time you try to introduce it to us.
Yeah.
So you have that's why, so take all your medicine.
How hard is it to explain to patients sometimes? Because, how do I want to say this? Hang on, give me a second. I'm talking to myself.
Remember, you're a patient, so you can say probably whatever you want.
No, I mean about me. Sure, I don't care. I don't care. No, so like my mom is a good example of this. She thinks antibiotics cure everything.
Yes,
and I've had
because
that
I mean that's kind of how it was. That's just what you always did.
And you have like I had a gastro thing a few months ago or whatever. I was just, things were coming out of every hole that I had, and not in a good way.
Not a clean orifice.
No, it was gray stuff.
It was, I was saying, gray matter.
Yeah, it was a lot of gray matter.
You're having a bad day.
And then I found something.
That's right. Sometimes
I forgot that.
That's right.
And then mom was like, you
need some antibiotics.
You should talk to doc and get some antibiotics. I said, well, mom, it's viral.
Right.
That's not going to help me.
Right.
And she's like, well, I thought antibiotics. Well, no, that's not. I'm like, I'm not smart, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to, I mean, I might ask doc to call me in some
something that, right. That's what I was going to say. Symptomatic
some
treatment.
Liquid cork.
Right. And the reason being is because antibiotics mess with the cellular replication of the bacteria.
Yeah.
Viruses have to have us to replicate.
Yeah.
So therefore the antibiotic can't mess with the reproductive cycle. Your body has to kill it. So you treat the virus, whatever it is, stomach, intestinal, we'll say GI tract, throat, whatever, your body has to take care of. But we can take medicine to help with the symptoms. If you have stuffiness over here, take Sudafed or something like that. Antibiotics mess with, and a lot of times it's ribosomal proteins or DNA gyrase or things like that, messing with the reproductive cycle of the thing and also messing up its DNA, so you kill the actual bacteria that's present. You can't do that with a virus. You can slow it down and you can prevent it from replicating, which is how Tamiflu works, because we're in flu season. Oseltamivir or Xofluza, which is the other one, which is a single dose. what they do is they mess with the neuraminidase enzyme, which is like the last enzyme that cleaves the bond of the existing viral particles so that it will start to replicate anew. So if you inhibit the neuraminidase with the Tamiflu, therefore it can't make any more flu virus.
Yeah.
And so then your body's able to catch up and kill it faster. Now, you're still only probably gaining 2 days of wellness being sooner, but that's still better than being sick for 2 more days.
I can't do the Tamiflu stuff.
Would upset your stomach.
Well, no, that wasn't what it did to me. It was
What'd it
the
do?
heart racing thing with me. Yeah. Yeah, like my heart rate was like 95 or something. For
Oh, you'd have been fine.
I know, but like it was just weird feeling, right? You know? So if I have strep and I have sex with a pangolin, did I mutate?
You're probably not. No,
No.
probably not.
I was going to say, I know all about the reproductive cycle.
Probably not. Now, your hepatitis, maybe.
Hepatitis.
Especially if you're going backdoor.
Hepatitis Q, baby.
You know,
The one we don't talk about. That'd be a good Stephen King movie.
hepatitis Q.
Hepatitis Q. We don't talk about that.
You know, it's interesting. He hasn't written much about like that, has he? Not like viral stuff. He's all about like you know, like crazy, like weird stuff happening in people's brains, but not like Contagion or you know.
No,
he
nothing
doesn't
like
really,
that.
He doesn't
It's-
really do that.
It's more psychological thrillers or, you know, the undead or
yeah,
aliens.
right. Anyway, we're getting off topic. Anyway,
Fairy tale.
but
by
yeah.
the way, can't recommend it enough. Stephen King book.
bam.
It's so long. It's like 60 hours to listen to.
Wow.
But it's worth it. Like I listened to it and I told Steven to listen to it. Steven's like, "Oh my God, I can't stop listening."
What was it again?
Fairy tale.
Fairy tale. Okay,
Stephen King fairy tale.
it's an epic.
It is. I think it's the best thing he ever wrote.
Wow.
I know there's some Stephen King fans out there, and I don't care what you think, but but
He kind of does, but I mean, he likes fairy tale.
yeah, I like fairy tale. I like a lot of Stephen King books.
Sure.
I'm a Stephen King fan because he's kind of crazy, and
Yeah.
I feel like I am too.
He's got some darkness in there.
Well, I mean, you know, it happens when you're Dark Vader.
I still can't.
So
But Congo, unidentified
yeah, no, it's terrible.
thing, Bear Grylls seems to be hitting adolescents, younger people harder, particularly guys. Not sure what's going on. I mean, they'll figure it out. I mean, World Health's involved, CDC. I mean, everybody's trying to fix. Because here's the other thing, you know what they're worried about? Somebody gets on a plane,
Yep.
and now we got it out of Congo.
I got to be honest. At least it happened in the Congo. I can't imagine there's many flights out of the Congo.
No,
to the US.
no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
No,
so,
there's
but you're
not.
right. They're terrified.
That's the problem, though, is they don't want to let it out
no.
because we don't know what it is.
Who let the pangolin out?
That's a.
Who? Are there pangolins there too?
Don't you mean woo woo?
I do.
You like
Look at
that?
Ooh, yeah.
You like that? I can play too,
Welcome to the lab.
but I try. I try not to.
So, okay, we're up against it here. We're still
No, we're
trying,
okay. We're good.
We're trying to
good.
keep these things at an hour.
I know.
Like,
I
we're
know.
trying.
But well, we already went over. It's okay. But you know, we missed last week. You were not feeling good. It's
No,
just
I
one of
what
those
I
freak
had.
things.
I had herpes.
You had the working too hard, not eating right, you were sleeping, but it just not a good. Yeah,
It was a bad week.
yeah, I know, man.
It was a bad week.
Anyway, moving on.
27-time World Series champions, the Yankees.
What a
Of
from
New
the
York.
Congo to the
Straight
show.
from the Congo.
to the show.
The New York Yankees, my favorite baseball team. Been a Yankees fan my whole life. 27-time world champions. I think that's right. I may be wrong. Somebody will let me know if I am. But they've won a bunch.
They have.
Even won 3 in a row at one point in time, which happens more in baseball than it does in other sports.
Still hard to do though.
It's still really hard to do. And again, some of the greatest players of all time. I mean, Derek Jeter. I could go on, I was gonna say,
How about Mickey Mantle?
No, I was gonna say Mickey and
Lou
Babe.
Gehrig,
I was gonna say Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle,
Yogi Berra, Babe Ruth,
but it's
Don
like-
Mattingly.
Yeah, it's like you guys
he's in
know,
there.
You know, El Duque.
El Duque.
El Duque.
I mean,
A-Rod.
Mariano Rivera.
Yeah.
Throw A-Rod out, whatever. Peds.
But
Punk.
yeah, but
Jeter's my man.
yeah, Derek Jeter's. Yeah.
You know,
But again, I mean, it's. I was gonna start naming people.
Bernie
It's like,
Williams.
Jim Smith. I don't know. But anyway,
Sure.
so for
Joe Torre.
yeah. So for 50 years, they have had this ban on facial hair.
Which is crazy.
You can't have facial hair, and I'm like, is that right?
Greatest example of that, Johnny Damon, when he went from the Sox to the Yankees. 'Cause
Yeah.
he was one hairy dude,
Yeah,
which is nuts.
Johnny Damon. Yeah. So
When they do have 27 World Series championships.
Oh, was I right?
you're
Oh,
correct.
look
That's
at me.
correct. That's correct. I had to look it up because I was like 27 sounds right.
yeah, I
That's what
thought
they
it
got.
was.
You got it.
So, so for 50 years now, they've had this ban on facial hair for the Yankees, and they just lifted it. Which is the guy. I mean, the Steinbrenner had a press conference and everything about this. Had a whole press conference to talk about it, about the facial hair and everything, and it was funny because I had already wanted to talk about this, and it had already taken place. And then you and I were having a conversation about narcissist. And it was funny how that just made me think about this, because here's a dude, and again, the facial hair thing is just stupid as shit. I mean, who cares? I mean, it's just, who cares? But I mean, they lifted the ban or whatever, and and now they said it has to be groomed.
Has to be groomed. So they still kind of said, because I mean, roll around like Captain Caveman. I mean, some of those guys, I'm like, how you even functioning looking like that?
But Steinbrenner, I guess, I mean, it's his kid.
Man, they're just
But I mean, he had this whole.
they have to grandstand.
Have you seen the press conference?
saw it.
It was ridiculous. This dude is the definition of a narcissist.
Yes. I mean, did you meet his dad?
Oh, I know.
I mean, or you didn't meet him, but I mean, did you ever see
I know, Big
listen
Stein.
to his dad? I mean, my
Yeah,
goodness.
Big Stein was.
I mean,
But it's like
Woo.
it's like he had this whole press conference, and it's like, why did this have to be a press?
because
conference?
he just needed to be out there in the show.
I have decided. I got together with the other lords of the world, and we have decided to
That's exactly what happened.
remove the ban for facial hair for the New York Yankees.
That's what they did.
And it's like, okay,
Who cares?
you could have just said, you actually didn't even have to say anything. One day people would have just shown up with facial hair, and somebody would have said,
Well, that's
"Oh,
true.
looks
Right.
like the Yankees would just they probably lifted that ban, and he could have said, yeah."
By the way, we lifted it starting this season.
yeah. It's like, why did that have to be an announcement? Why did he have to call a press conference for
Because he
that?
needed some attention.
Holy shit!
And he wanted
balls.
everybody to know it was his decision.
Yeah.
It wasn't the player's decision. He has control.
All New York Yankees will now be able to have facial hair.
Well coiffed.
I will now take questions about facial hair if anyone has one. Crickets. The facial hair will need to be well groomed, and we will make sure that the facial hair is washed daily, combed, and doesn't shed on their uniform. The facial hair shall be something that your mother would be proud of. I am the owner of the New York Yankees, and I dictate what hair grows where on people. Now, the women that work in the stadium. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, what a jackass. I mean, listen, I love the Yankees.
Like I
do.
said, just had to be self-serving, man.
But that dude, I mean, oh my God.
it was bad
It's like, dude,
bad.
why was this?
and crazy. Well, I mean, that. But I mean, I guess you have that for 50-something years. It's a big deal. I
guess.
You want to and again, because he wanted the credit, he was going to advertise it, and he was going to make sure people knew that was his decision. It wasn't some player's meeting that happened. It wasn't somebody revolting. It was I gave you permission.
Yes, you may now grow facial hair should your genetics allow such things.
Right.
If your genetics do not allow such things, that is also okay. You are not required to have facial hair. The god of baseball has spoken. He had 2 tablets in his hand. He came down from a mountain. The whole thing.
Did he break them?
Yeah, he parted the parking lot, the gravels in the parking lot or whatever. Yeah, but he had a whole press conference. I mean, what a jackass! I mean, this is the kind of thing that Stephen A. Smith would do, right? Like he would have a press conference to talk about facial hair. I, Stephen A. Smith.
Speaking of Stephen A. Smith, did you see that interaction with him and LeBron?
You mentioned this to me, and I knew that it happened because I'd heard about it, but I haven't seen the interaction yet.
I think it was before the game. You know, Stephen A. Smith sitting courtside in L.A., and LeBron comes up to him, and it's a pretty heated discussion. And I mean, you know, Stephen A. is not a small guy. He's like 6'3", 6'4", but I mean, you know, LeBron's like 6'9", so I mean, he's towering over. Plus, he's a whole lot more muscular. And I mean, you can tell LeBron is mad. Like you can't really see what Stephen A. Smith's doing because his back is to this camera. It's a phone camera that's videoing. And of course, it goes viral. But I mean, you can clearly tell that LeBron's mad. And then Stephen A. talked about it, I guess, today on First Take. Spent about 4 minutes talking about it, and basically saying, I get he was upset, and he was very calm about it. He didn't really say anything negative against LeBron. He said, I get it. You know, you're talking about, you know, you're upset about your son. You think that the fact that we don't jive, because apparently he and Stephen A. Smith don't get along, haven't for a long time. And as he said, neither one of us is losing sleep over this. It's not that big of a deal.
When they're both jackasses.
But he said that he understood that he's a father of 2 daughters. And he said what he was trying to say to LeBron was, you know, I was talking about you. Your son was coming to the conversation about how he was drafted and what we're doing here with him, this, that, and the other. And he said, I was more talking about LeBron. He said it wasn't so much I was directing it at Bronny. Just talking about how they've kind of mismanaged this, and, you know, he's kind of up and down, and you know, he's got a lot of development that needs to take place, and it was kind of a rough situation they got put into. And he said, but that's stuff that LeBron was already kind of saying. He said, all I took were things that LeBron had said publicly, and that's what I was talking about. And he goes, I didn't use a source. I didn't, you know, I wasn't really reporting. He said, these are truthful statements that LeBron made, and that's what he was specifically referencing. And he said, I get it. He said, but he said, I don't apologize for it. And he goes, I don't think LeBron needs to apologize for getting gruff with me. He said, I don't think either one of us cares that much, you know. He said, I hate that it was on TV because, of course, in today's world, nobody's safe saying anything. No. I mean, I actually think it looked better on him the way he handled it versus LeBron looking like a brat again. You know, like the All-Star game. Oh, I will not be in uniform. I mean, you knew before, like, the night of that you were not going to play. And he's just done some punk stuff over the years. I just don't like him. And I'm not saying, here's the thing. Michael Jordan could have been an a-hole, man, you know, but he never did some of this crybaby mess that LeBron did. That's what I would say. Jordan would be like, okay, you did that to me, I'm going to kill you. Versus LeBron will go whine about it. Jordan didn't go whine about it. He said, that's fine. I'm going to take your heart. You know, and so I think that's a difference too, just that mentality. Kobe was kind of like that. He's like, I'm not going to whine about it. I'm going to kill you. Yeah. You know, and I think that's the difference. That's why I know LeBron has all the stats, but player-wise, it's Jordan and Kobe for me. I really put Kobe above LeBron.
Can I tell you what I think about this situation?
I would. Well, that's kind of why I brought it up, because I know it's 2 of your absolute favorite sports people in all the world, and they happen to have beef with one another. And apparently, you know, they've never liked each other anyway. And that's what Stephen A. was saying. He's like, we ain't losing sleep over this. Nobody's upset about it. Everybody knows that's how it is, and we go on. But I mean, he kind of called him out in a public venue, you know, and that's what he said too. He's like, he could have called me on the phone. He's like, I would have gone to see him. He's like, I would have gone to see LeBron if LeBron asked me to, you know, summoned me to come talk to him. He said instead he aired it out in public, and he said, unfortunately, somebody caught it on camera. Yeah. Anyway, I think it made Stephen A. Smith look better, to be honest with you. Anyway, so tell me your opinion, Dave, man, on the LeBron, Stephen A. Smith beef?
Here's what I think.
It's a kid show, not really, but it's...
Let's start with LeBron. LeBron's got a lot of stats.
He does.
LeBron is a great basketball player.
Truth.
I don't think anybody could
Truth.
say that that's not true.
And a complete basketball player.
A complete basketball player. I mean, here's a guy that came out of high school, went right to the NBA. That is very difficult to do. Not many people have been able to do it successfully, Kobe being the other.
Yep.
That
But even Kobe was backing up his first year. He only averaged like 8 points. LeBron was like 27 and 7.
Yeah.
He was straight from being straight out of high school.
Yeah, so LeBron, here's what I would say about LeBron, and then I'll get to my friend Stephen A. Smith.
Saving him for last. Imagine.
Here's a guy who couldn't win a championship.
Right.
He just couldn't.
Right.
So he's like, I need people around me.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what you do with that normally, if you're a champion,
Yes.
in my estimation, and again, I'm 5'6". All right. Ain't nobody ever going to see me on an NBA court unless I am lost and drunk in a stadium.
I mean, Spud Webb was only 5'7". He won the dunk contest. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that guy was amazing.
Right?
I don't have those kind of hops.
Me either.
Dave jumps are not. I ain't got no Dave. Dave hops are low. And so here's a guy who couldn't win a championship. Had to go to. He went to a different team.
Goes to Miami
to win a championship.
Leaves Cleveland the decision.
And yeah, it takes up an hour's worth of time on ESPN just to say, yeah, I'm going to the Heat. Where, I mean, that could have just been a story, not a whole thing. But ESPN's part of the problem there. But I'll get to them in a minute. Don't worry, ESPN. I'm coming.
He will never miss a moment.
No.
There will never be a missed moment.
Here's a guy that's like bounced around from team to team to win a championship. Right. And he's done, and he's won championships. What has he won? 4 now?
LeBron has 4.
He's won 4.
Been to the finals, I think, 9 times.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Kobe had 5.
Kobe has 5. Jordan 6.
And Jordan had 6 and probably would have had 8.
And would have had 8. And the other thing is he was 6-0.
Yeah. This is always the argument I have about Joe Montana. Joe won 4 Super Bowls.
Right.
And his quarterback rating was 121. He threw 16 touchdowns, no interceptions in 4 Super Bowls.
Right.
I don't know. I guess that doesn't count for anything.
Yeah.
Good Brady. So
Which, that's interesting you brought that up. Have you seen the comparison of Brady and Mahomes for Super Bowls?
no.
Like touchdown to interception. I mean, Mahomes' numbers stink.
Yeah, they do. Oh, they're terrible.
Compared to Brady.
they're terrible.
And Joe's was even better in terms of TD to INT ratio because it's perfect.
Yeah.
But even Brady, I think he's like 16-4. I mean, his isn't terrible.
No.
And a couple of those were actually when they were losing to Atlanta, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got off topic. So back to
one of those guys never lost us.
No, I get that. No. No, we're together on that. I get you. I get you.
So LeBron's bounced around or whatever, to different teams, and now his kid comes into the league, and I guess that's cool that his kid's playing with him.
And it's first time that ever happened.
And
father,
I mean, I guess that's cool.
So it's just another historical making thing.
But it's time for LeBron to just shut the hell up. Like, I'm just done with him. It's like, dude, listen, you're not Jordan. You want to wear Jordan's number. You want to be Michael Jordan. But you're never going to be, even if you win 10 championships, you're not going to be Jordan, because Jordan didn't have to go and like find other teams to play with that already had superstars. He just didn't. And had he done that, he still would have won championships. You didn't.
Right.
Like, I mean, he didn't even do.
True.
He goes to Miami. They win. How many did they win in Miami? 2.
He's won 2 in Miami, 1 Cleveland, 1 LA. And he won the one in LA during the pandemic and the bubble in Orlando.
That bullshit, all that mess.
Yeah, that's
when he was in
theirs.
Miami. I mean, they made it to the championship against the Mavs and got beat. That's the game where he just said he was cramping at the end of the game. And
he kind of
just stopped playing.
Yeah,
like he looked fine. He walked off the court, looked just fine. It's like, okay,
but he just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to play anymore.
Yep.
I don't have any respect for him as a player. Like, I just, okay. Nobody gives a shit what you say. Nobody cares about your political positions. Nobody cares. You play basketball for a living. Get your check, which is ample.
Substantial.
And just shut the hell up.
And great businessman.
Yeah.
There's no arguing that.
No.
Man. I don't know. It's just a different.
I just can't. Again, I'm not a fan of the NBA anymore.
No, I get that.
So that's probably part of this. Now, let's move to Stephen A. Smith.
SAS.
I don't know. I still don't understand why. When I look at Stephen A. Smith and I see him on any kind of show,
Yes.
it's no different to me than watching The View.
Ooh.
It isn't. It's like, all of them are out of touch with reality. None of them have ever done anything. And it's like, I don't give a shit what they think. And so here's Stephen A. Smith, I haven't seen this, but I'm just assuming.
I know he talked about how they're the number one program for 13 years in a row or whatever for the daytime morning show type, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you're either watching that or Ellen. So I mean, like, okay, great. I mean, Social Blade has us ranked as a C+ podcast. Okay, you want to know what's below us? Some really bad shit. Okay, all right. Let's just be honest. Rogan is an A++. Let's just, So we're the number one show. Yeah, it's either that or watching Ellen fucking dance. Who cares?
We're C+.
Yeah, we are. We're C+.
I was kind of hoping we get a B.
C+ is good.
Is it?
Yeah. No, it's really good.
Sure it is.
It is.
I'd like to be.
Listen, I mean,
I just want to be. Just leave me be.
leave me be. I want a B cup.
Killer bees. Right.
B cup's a good cup. It's
Better than a P cup.
What's all this shit?
Or the
in here?
Canadian Grey Cup.
Oh, yeah. Ugh. Here we go again. Mm-hmm. But again, here's the thing. Stephen A. Smith never played a professional sport.
No.
I don't give a shit about his opinion and stuff. His opinion's terrible. Like, I mean, he has... The only thing he said that I ever agreed with was the argument about Michael Jordan, and that's generally because someone has brought up LeBron.
Right.
And he's like, I don't care what you say.
Right.
We all know who the greatest to ever play was.
Correct.
Just like me.
Which is why I'm sure he and LeBron don't jive, because he's never going to give it to him.
I guess.
I mean, I think that's just part of it.
But it's just like those two people having an argument, to me, is no different than... I'm trying to think of a good example or something I can throw, or a good analogy. I can't even think of one. It's like I couldn't care less.
It doesn't matter.
I couldn't care less if they were arguing, if they were making out, if they were having sex with each other in front of other people, if they were dancing.
Kind of got a little weird. That's a weird vibe right there.
But I mean, I don't care.
I get you.
You know what I mean? Like,
I got you. I understand.
It doesn't matter to me one way or the other. Like, I mean, those two not liking each other, okay.
Right. It's not a significant point.
I don't care about either person.
Right.
So it's like I just this, and again, folks, if you've listened to the show at least once, you know how I feel about ESPN. That is just the cesspool of media.
The Ocho.
It's just The View. It's all it is. It's the sports version of The View. And I don't care what aisle, what side of the aisle you're on. If you can watch The View and not throw up at this point, then something's wrong with you. Because those ladies are as far out of touch with the actual American people as anyone. And ESPN,
yeah, no matter where you are, they're
just completely out of touch.
I don't even know where
these
they're
are billionaires that have no idea about anything, and they're telling you how you should believe and everything else.
Like I said,
and ESPN does the same thing. ESPN's like, well, here are the teams you should care about because we care about.
Because that's who we endorse.
It's like, how about you just tell me the news? It's like, you remember when you used to just be Sports Center and you would just tell us news?
Fuego.
And
aloha means goodbye.
You know what I blame for all this?
Cool as the other side of the pillow.
Oh yeah,
that was my favorite. Old Stu.
Yeah, Stuart
God
Scott.
Rest in peace.
You know where all this came from, though? You're gonna say, how in the hell are you making this connection, Dave? But
Yes,
I'll
I'm
tell you.
ready. The Illuminati.
The Gulf War.
Okay. That wasn't what I was thinking.
All this happened from the Gulf War.
All right.
Because
All right.
George Carlin made a joke one time about the Gulf War being the greatest war ever because it's the first war we got to watch on cable. And
Well, I mean, he ain't lying.
yeah, I mean, we learned who Wolf Blitzer was, right? Because he was on,
Oh my God.
and he was on TV for 24 hours a time, 24 hours a day.
Stormin' Norman.
Yeah. But again, CNN, like, it was 24 hours a day. They started covering the Gulf War. Now, again, I think CNN at that point in time was already doing 24 hours a day, I think. But like CNN even had like a sports section at night too.
Right. They did. They had different.
Yeah, so like they had different things.
Yes.
But after the Gulf War,
Yes. CNN headline sports.
yeah, and so they started doing like 24-hour news, and then Fox said, "Well, we can't be outdone," so they did it.
so
NBC's
right,
like,
so
"We're
here
the
it-
king
right,
of
so here-
broadcasting."
right, so here we
Look at
are.
us. We have Jay Leno. We have to be 24 hours a day, whatever. And so they did that, and then there were spinoffs from that and everything. And news became less about news; it became more about entertainment. And so you have all these, it's like, how do you fill 24 hours of programming? That's a lot to fill. And so what do you do? Well, you get people and you have like opinion shows or whatever.
Right. Right.
And I don't know how
Which
you could,
deviates from what the news is.
I don't know how you tune in to any of those now and actually get the news. Like I don't
Right.
think because it's just somebody's show.
Right.
You turn into MSNBC and it's Rachel Maddow being mad at everybody. Or you tune in and it's like Gutfeld on Fox, and it's like that's like a nighttime talk show.
Hannity.
And Hannity. I mean, it's like it's just a show. And so I think ESPN, because they were trying to fill 24 hours,
Right.
and again, it used to just be Sports Center, and
You had like 6 hours of Sports Center a day
and so
minimum. And then they'd always have a game on in the evening.
yeah.
And so you really didn't have as much time to fill during the rest of the day.
And now not only do they have 24 hours to fill, but they've got
They have multiple networks.
yeah, they have
too.
ESPN, ESPN News, ESPN3,
The Ocho.
and then the Ocho.
Deuce.
They have all these, ESPNs now, ESPNU.
Yep.
They also own the ACC network, the SEC networks. Nobody gives a shit about that. But I mean, all these other networks.
It just means more.
Of course it does, because I mean, why does anybody else try?
That's right.
It doesn't matter. I mean, just like this year in the college football playoff, right? It just doesn't matter if you're not in the SEC. Oh, wait a minute. So other than Tennessee in college basketball, and they might be the best team in the country.
No, we're not.
I don't know, man.
No, we're
I
not.
don't
We
know.
laid egg the other night against Ole Miss. That game
beat
worried
Bama,
me.
though.
That game worried me. Yeah, we had to head a 3 from the summit. Meshack.
Doesn't matter.
Barnes didn't see it because he was trying to call timeout. Did you know they ran the exact same play against Ole Miss, and he came across half court and they called timeout with 3 seconds left, give the ball to Milicic.
Yeah.
He drives in. I don't know if the guy fouled him or not, but he didn't maintain possession of the ball. He had like about a 4-foot jumper and couldn't make it, and we couldn't tie the game. That was after he'd made a 4-point play to make it 76-76 anyway. Well, I don't know, man. We slip up. That's what's going to get us. I know we deviate away. It's not Duke. Duke will go up against a really physical team and then probably be an SEC team. And I think this point in the year they'll get beat. I'm telling you, don't sleep on St. John's because they shoot the ball terrible from 3 and they don't care because their defense is awesome.
I'm glad you brought up St. John's, because the team that I think is the sleeper this year that I might have going to the Final Four is Marquette. I'm not kidding.
Maybe. I mean,
that team is solid.
Shaka.
Yeah, I mean,
He's back in his mid-major. He didn't do good at Texas, but he's back at the mid-major and he does great.
Seriously. He moved to Wisconsin, right? And that's now he's,
It'd be interesting. I think St. John's is going to make it. I said that last week or 2 weeks ago, and
They're in the Big East, right? So they're going to have to play. Yeah. So I think the next game for Marquette is St. John's.
It might be because St. John's won the regular season Big East for the first time since '96 or whatever. So it's exciting stuff. I think they got a shot if they stay healthy.
Marquette, I have them.
Yeah,
I think that's a sleeper.
It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I mean, it's
not just going to be the SEC. I mean, should the other teams? Try.
I mean, I'll say this. You have to give it up. Again, you never know how it's gonna shake down. But I mean, we do have 4 teams in the top 10.
I mean, yeah, Auburn's the best team in the country.
Of course, they got beat. They got upset.
Yeah. They don't lose a lot either.
So no.
What, 4 losses this year total?
2.
2? Oh.
They have 2. Duke has 3. Houston has 4. We have 5.
Houston.
Actually, I think we have 6. I think we
Houston's
have,
the other team that's playing really well.
Yep. Yeah,
And
they've been right there for the last. I mean, yeah,
you got
Kelvin
Kentucky
Sampson.
just on the edge there. Right?
Yeah.
They'll be a 3 seed probably.
They're probably going to end up being a 4.
You think so?
They've fallen back
I thought they'd be like a Midwest.
But they're 19-10, so they'll probably be a 4.
Yeah. It depends on the tournament, right? It depends on the SEC tournament.
Mizzou's going to end up maybe being a 3. I'll be interested to see what happens.
I think with Kentucky, it all depends on the SEC tournament, right? Like how Kentucky does.
Well, and I think that's kind of how it is for Kentucky, Missouri, both of them. I think us beating Bama, if we hadn't lost, if we win tomorrow, that will stay 4th in the SEC. I mean, I think that could potentially still get us a 1 in the tournament, but I think we'll have to do good in the tournament.
Yeah.
I think Duke and Auburn will both be a 1 regardless.
Tennessee won't be any lower than a 3, though.
No, I don't think we'll be lower than a 2. I think we'll be a 2 at the worst, even if we don't like play absolutely awesome, because we're going to finish the season ranked 4th, get a bye.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's if we win, we got to win. If we lose, then I don't know what that's
even if you
like.
lose. I mean, you're still talking 3.
And then crazy. Hey, don't sleep on Clemson. Clemson's a tough defensive team. I mean, they handed Duke a loss. It's going to be interesting. Duke has to win. They have to beat North Carolina to wrap up the regular season title. If they don't win, it'll be a 3-way tie because they beat Louisville beat Clemson, and Clemson beat Duke.
Yeah.
And they'd all end up with the same record if Louisville and Clemson both win.
Marquette's my sleeper. I'm telling you. Marquette's.
It'll be interesting. That'd be interesting to see.
You're gonna think I'm a genius if they make it to the Final Four.
Oh, I definitely would. No, I think honestly, Clemson could be my sleeper. Texas Tech is pretty solid too, but Clemson, I actually think Clemson's probably my sleeper. It'd be interesting to see. Anyway,
yeah,
we screw ESPN. We know.
Again, 24 hours of programming.
We don't like them. You got to fill it up. March Madness coming. That's a lot of programming. We could watch that all day.
I'm excited about that.
It's coming soon.
I'm so excited about
March
Madness.
Coming soon. Starts the 15th.
Yeah. March Madness almost starts at the end of March. The Ides of March, folks.
The Ides of March. Oh, look at that.
It's our theme song that you don't like.
You could.
I'm like, we could end the show with it. I slaved over this song to write this, and you hate it.
It is not my favorite.
Actually, I took 2 seconds to write it. But actually, AI wrote it for me.
You were good. We just used the AI.
Listen to that thump, though. Listen to that. You can't listen to this and not be happy. Oh, yeah. Come on.
The lyrics suck.
Oh, of course they do. They're terrible.
My God.
It's about our show. What do you expect?
Get that C+.
87.
Can't believe you shared that. That hurts my heart. Guys, we need a B.
80. That's good.
C+ my ass. No. I'm distraught.
It's episode 87, folks.
All that cussing.
Of the Dave&Doc podcast. All things Dave&Doc on our website at Dave&Doc.com. That's Dave A&D.Doc. D-O-C. We're a C+
is a gray area. It's a gray area.
Bye. We'll see you next time, folks.